All right. Hi, everybody. So glad you're here. We're going to probably start seeing a lot of memes and little funny things over the next couple of days because of an event in the United States called the what? Solar eclipse, right?
Yep.
And I really wanted to share is whatever you're led to do. But tonight's class is focused on the basics, the fundamentals of being intentional with whatever you're doing for the next 3 days of the solar eclipse or whatever's going on, right? 2 days ago, there was just a 7.4 earthquake in Taiwan. Things happen, guys, without notice. So I wanted to talk tonight about being intentional. We have friends who are traveling internationally, and she prompted this conversation because she said, Jean, I only have this much space. If you've ever been asked what oils you should take on a trip, have you ever heard all of them? Right? That's not possible, right? And that's not realistic. So we really have to have a bare bones basic kit. Okay. And I want to show you what my friend is carrying. Now, this is my case. Okay. And I want you, why I'm sharing this real quickly, I want you to write down if you could take only 7 products with you. And you got to be able to carry it if you have to walk away. Okay. I want you to think about what would be the 7, not 8, not 9, not 11. Okay. What would be your top 7? Now I'm going to give you some honorable mentions. Okay. But I want to show you how you really could be prepared intentionally for almost anything. So I'm going to open this bag and share with you what's in it. But I also wanted to say to you, this would be great for me, somebody who's used oil for 12 years. This would be amazing for somebody who's never used oils. Okay.
Mhm.
So write down if you think you might know what they are. And I'm going to give you 1 or 2 uses of why I have them. Okay. It can be any Young Living products. I chose 7 oils because I wanted to be intentional with if I had to leave my home, what is already packed? Number 1, if you have to grab an oil off of a wall from your diffuser, you're not prepared because you're probably going to grab a bottle that has 3 drops. Okay.
Mhm.
I will tell you that I chose intentionally 7 15 mil oils. Somebody asked me why I didn't have Trauma Life in it because it's a 5 mil. If I'm walking out and I don't know what I may encounter or how long I'm going to be gone, I wanted the most generic that would be the most beneficial. So here we go. Number 1, geranium. Okay. Geranium for bleeding. Some of you may have seen that I cut my finger pretty badly. I was using lavender. It was a bleeder. Okay. Lavender did not cut it, did not stop the bleeding. I added geranium and it halted. So, geranium for cuts, skin issues, lavender in a crisis. Do you think anybody in Taiwan needs to be calmed down so they could think clearly? Lavender. Why lemon? You may have to drink some water you're not so sure about. Okay. So those 3 very common oils. Geranium's also great for any skin issue. Okay. RC has 4 eucalyptuses in it. If you've ever been around somebody who's been in shock, or maybe having a panic attack or the beginnings of it, they're not taking deep breaths. RC can help them, even cupping it over their nose or in their hands. Peppermint. Pain issues, digestive issues, if you don't have any air conditioning, peppermint can cool you down. Thieves, all around immune support. And my last oil is purification. Okay. These 7 are packed in a bag, ready to go. They are not open. Okay. You may wonder why I chose something like purification. Purification is a blend. It has rosemary. It has lemongrass. So sometimes oils with blends might give you more option. Okay. Those 7, but I could also hand this to anybody. And they'll say, okay, we've got all this smog in the air or buildings collapsing, right? They could put lemon, they could put thieves, they could put peppermint on a napkin, anything to be able to walk through that dusty. So these are my 7. So I want to hear from you guys after we stop the recording. What would be your 7? If I could take 9, what would be my 2 optional ones? Now, this is going to be different for everybody, but it is, see if you can guess. Frankincense. And guys, for those of you who don't know, many years ago, I had a panic attack on a plane. I was with Dale, and I literally had never experienced that. And I asked him to hit me in the jaw and knock me out. No joke, not exaggerating. And somebody on the plane, we were going to a Young Living event, and they had frankincense, and I put it under my tongue, which took the edge off so I could stay on the plane. I did not know if I would be able to fly home. That's how bad it was. But I saw frankincense take the edge off enough for me to fly. Okay. And I don't think I flew for 2 years. Because at that time, and this gets into it, guys, there will be people that we will encounter who will feel shame that that they're panicking or something. Guys, we don't know what we don't know. And if I can give someone a drop of peppermint for them to breathe in so that their breathing becomes regular, I want to have the tools to be able to do that, because I know what it was like to literally ask my husband to do that. Okay. And my other honorable mention is Copaiba. Okay. Copaiba is for anything inflammation. If you've ever had a cough or a cold, what are your bronchial tubes? They're inflamed, right? Okay. You ever been on a plane too long or something and your hands or your feet or your ankles swell? Copaiba can help with that. You ever get up in the morning and you slept wrong, or you had some back? Okay, Copaiba helps me. So it's one of my honorable mentions. Okay, but if I only could take 7, that is. And here's what I want to say to you is be intentional with having a tool that you can take with you. But I could give this bag to somebody and say, okay, and I could give them 2 minutes of saying, these 7 oils, here's what they are. And they could give it to somebody else. Okay. We've got to keep it simple. And if you've ever talked to anybody who's been involved in any type of crisis or trauma, or know anyone, or you've walked through it, how much do you remember? You don't. I know you told me. How could I be an oiler for 12 years and not know what lavender does? Because in a crisis, you may not. So being able to hand somebody a bottle of lavender and say, put this on your hands and breathe it in. That's it. Sometimes we have too much, okay? So that is my basic kit. That's it. Those 7 oils. Now, notice this is a little bit bigger bag. Can I put my copaiba and frankincense in it? I can, okay? But my friend's bag that she's taking to the Middle East, she could only take those 7 oils. That was the only space she had in the room. Okay. So depending on the size of the bag, I have this bag. So why did I choose a smaller bag? If you had 11, 12, 15 ml bottle, how heavy is this going to be? Okay. Keep that in mind. You'll notice that every one of the bottles that I showed you tonight was not open. Because when I walk out the door to go minister or help someone or hand some products off, I want them to have a full bottle. How many times have you ever grabbed an oil and it was empty? And you flip it up, like seriously, I just opened this 2 days ago, right? Things like that happen. So in my basic kit, there is never an open oil, okay? So I had to find a medium to smallish bag that I knew that if I had to walk, I could carry this without it being too heavy. And I'm going to show you a couple of what I mean by that. So too big for me, okay? I don't know what carry. This is another bag. Beth might remember these. There were tons of these bags, okay? This has different oils in it. It also has some clean cloths. Because what if somebody has a wound? I.e., if you ever cut your finger right across the line there, it's going to bleed, and it's going to bleed for a while, okay, if you don't have geranium, okay? This bag is in a bigger bag that I have, okay? And it has different oil in it. One of the oils I wanted to mention to you guys is it has Believe. Now, why on earth would I have the blend of Believe? Believe has a lot of frankincense in it. So when I got started with Young Living, I wasn't ready to invest the money for a 15 ml bottle of frankincense. We didn't have a 5 ml frankincense Vitality. Believe. Okay. And to this day, I still smell the frankincense in Believe. Okay. Now, this is the bag that I carry. And this is the box that I carry. Okay. When you're looking at being intentional, there's levels of intentionality. This is a super old case. It does say Young Living on it. Who knows where I got it, when I got it, no clue. But it is 30 oils, and they're all 5 ml. Okay, all of them. Okay, now this one does have some that are open in it. I try to replace it when I think about it. So I can walk away with 37 oils. Okay. Why do I have things in a case? If this case falls on really hard concrete, like I dropped it and just at the right angle, it is possible that one of these oils could break in it. Now, we hope not, but let's be real, right? So I put a case that if I were to drop it, and did you see all the foam around it? I have dropped this multiple times. Nothing's ever broken. Okay. So I wanted to share with you, okay, regardless of what you think about April 8th and a solar eclipse, okay, if there was any bad weather, and this could include, guys, a flood. Do you guys remember the hailstorm damage at my house last July? Okay. We still don't have the outside of our house painted. It's supposed to be done sometime in May. Okay. It was July 16th that solar storm or that hailstorm hit. Okay. So whatever it looks like, be intentional. Now here, those are the basics, but I want to share with you a couple of things. Does anybody have a book? It doesn't have to be this one, but some type of book in your vehicle. I want to tell you, I want to encourage you to do that, whether it's in the side pocket of the back door, whether it's in the glove compartment, because this is much more valuable than the auto guide. Okay. Let's be real. Okay. But some type of that, again, in a trauma, flooding, you get lost, your GPS isn't working. Okay. If you need to pull out information and we aren't thinking clearly, we need a book. Now, here's the funny part. Okay. Have you guys ever heard of a go bag? Okay. Here's my bag. Okay. How far do you think I can walk with this? Let's be real. If I worked out with this, for sure, I'd be losing weight. Then I have water bottles. I have all kinds of things off the side, shoved on the side, right? Okay. I do have this because if I ever have to,
No sound.
Jean, without your sound all of a sudden. I think you unplugged.
can you hear me now? Okay. Sorry about that. So see how heavy that bag is, right? I have it. If we're told by the police there's a chemical spill, you need to go, and you're going to be 5 days out. And you have 5 minutes to pack up and walk out the door. And we're not leaving because we have to make sure everybody's out of here. Okay. I've got that packed. Is there clothes in it? Yes. Okay. Right next to it is a water bottle. Okay. Because I might not remember to grab a water. But realistically, if I had to leave my car and walk a mile home, do you think I'm carrying that? No, ridiculously heavy. But there's levels of intentional preparation. A little bag, 7 oils. We just addressed purifying water, pain, respiratory, immune support, relaxation. What was the other thing? Your respiratory, digestive, all of that in here. Okay. Jean has a little extra box. Okay. Easy to grab. By the way, these two are together. Okay. Because I want to encourage you guys that we don't know, but let's just say one of those got moved. I'd still have the other one packed. And I have a large backpack. Okay. But that would only be if police come and said everybody's got to vacate the premises. Okay. So I wanted to share with you, sometimes people think, oh, I don't have all the oils. Do you have 7? Could you work on getting 7? Can you imagine your neighbor comes and says something? I need your help. I could grab my bag of 7. And I might be able to really help. It's not about just, oh, if there's a solar eclipse or a tsunami or an earthquake, what do I have? Okay, so I really want to challenge you guys to put a basic, okay? So what's some
jump-
honorable mentions?
Do you
Okay.
mind if I jump in real quick, Jane?
Yeah, absolutely.
So awesome. I love this because we don't know. It could be an injury with someone close by and it's ready, you know where it's at. It could be that you need to get out because there's a fire, like in California. It could be, like Jean said, a tornado or a hurricane, something that you just need to know that you can take something with you downstairs if you have to go for a tornado. And when we're under stress, it's proven that we forget just the basic things. So if you know ahead of time and you've actually talked to your family and said, this is what we need. Have you ever gone and said, when we need to get out of here, be it just safety or whatever, we got to take off to the relatives that's having troubles real quick. And we just want to take off within an hour, which I've had to do. You forget those basic things, but having this, you're just a little more comforted and not getting on the road stressed or leaving in a stressful situation. So when you are prepared like that, it is awesome. And there are some things, Jean, that 30 kit is still available on Young Living. Do you want me to show it?
Yeah, please do. So, I think I didn't qualify for the 30 case. I think they had an empty case and
Yep.
I could buy it.
So
The
you
empty
can buy
case.
the case for $43. You see it on here, guys. And what you could do, you might not want the 30 oils in there. So there is a select 30 that's $434, or you can get the case for $43 and fill it up with the stuff that you know. The two things are, I look at categories. Jean covered emotions, cleansing, boosting your immunities. Think of categories and what you are familiar with. And I love that she said blends give you more options. Like when you have purification, you have lemongrass. Did you know that is wonderful to support your ligaments and tendons? If you twist your ankle or something, you might want to just support that a little bit. But I love that she put that. One thing we did with the kids, we had a small case for the kids when they were just out for an overnight, or they went to camp or something, or if they were in sports, they always had a little tiny thing, but there was a card, a 3x5 card, or even smaller, depending on how much, with a little information of this oil has this and it works on this. So even if you're panicked or your spouse has to do it or a friend has to do it, it will have a card in there. So it was always good. The book's great, awesome, because you can't remember, but having a little card in there backing up each oil would be a good thing as well. Go ahead, Jane.
Absolutely. And so what we have, guys, is this, in this case, is upstairs. Okay. So if I have to walk out and literally, this has never happened to us, but we have had friends say that there was a fire 2 doors down and the police came and said, now, like the police didn't leave the door for you to gather your stuff. If I can't get downstairs, this is what I grab. Okay. My big blue case that I just showed you is downstairs. So if I have 5 minutes, I'm going to be able to grab more, but I can grab more for one reason, because it's packed. It's ready to go. I was intentional. Okay. And I agree with Beth. Many, many years ago, guys, this was available. I don't even know if it is. It was a first aid kit. Okay. So it is having a little something in there to be able to remind you of what you that you can do. So these are, I wanted to start with a basic, okay, kit. Here is a couple of optional honorable mentions, okay? For me is Immune Pro, because ladies, if we don't sleep, we can't function, period. So we need to be able to function, okay? Honorable mention Animal Sense ointment. Okay? When a Band-Aid won't stay on. Okay?
Mhm.
And my honorable mentions that I didn't have in my case, okay, was Stress Away, Peace and Calming, Digest, and Thyme Oil. Okay. All of those are powerful. But again, if you can't physically carry it because you pack so many things, okay, so I want to keep my oils simple. And if I can grab an extra one out the door, okay, but I have this pack and I know that I can take care of most of my family's needs if I have these 7. Copaiba and Frank fit in my bag. So that's a plus, but I'm okay if I didn't. All right. Those were some other oils that people might. Okay.
What was the
Peace
4th
and
one, Jean?
Calming,
Yeah.
Stress Away, Digest, and Thyme Oil. Okay. Now, here's my 2 supplements. Okay. When you get into supplements, like, can you really just choose 1 or 2? Okay. The greatest pain that I've had is when my stomach's upset. Okay. Either I'm constipated, I have diarrhea, I eat something and my stomach is just bad, or I'm vomiting, whatever. So for me, my 2 supplements is enzymes. This just happens to be Essential Zyme 4. There are 10 packets in here, guys. 1 for Dale, 1 for me for 5 days. Okay. Again, I want to remember what basic is, right? This isn't we're going away to Japan for 3 weeks. This is a couple of days. Okay. And the second supplement for me is alkaline. Okay. Because digestively, that's got to work. Have you guys read the book, The Gut and the Brain Connection? Okay. So in a crisis, I need to make sure my gut's staying healthy. Okay. Same thing with Immune Pro, guys. You can put 4 tablets in a little bag, then put a pencil, and once a quarter, open your bag, check it, and go, where'd my lavender go? Right? Nobody's supposed to touch it, but it does happen. So I would say to you is, and when I said the Animal Sense ointment, guys, I'm talking about getting a little plastic container with a lid, put 2 spoonfuls in it. Okay. Animal Sense ointment can be used for lips, for chafing, for a wound. Okay. You bust open your head. You're not going to put a Band-Aid over that. I hope not. But you can put lots of Animal Sense ointment to keep it from getting wounded. So tonight is all about basics, not about all the oils. It's about what can I intentionally do. And I hope I showed you, I started with 1 bag, 7 oils. Then I have another one with 35 ml oils. I built that over time. And then I have what we call a go bag. Okay. In the same place. The last part of this basic talk is you find a spot and it stays there. If you have to clear a shelf of a plant to put that, because that's where you know you'd go, okay, then that is what you need to do. Okay, so it's always there. The 2 are together. Okay, we have a cork board downstairs, a peg board. That's where my big bag sits. It has sat there for 5 years. Okay, and about once a year I open it. But I know generally, there's a lot of stuff in there that I could help. It's got medical supplies, it's got other things, okay? But don't think that that's where we started. So whether we're facing something on Monday, April 8th with a solar eclipse, whether there's an earthquake, whether there's a flood, or whether you get the call, and I've had it twice, where my son has called and said, I totaled the car. And yes, he has totaled 2 cars. Okay. Now, if he's calling me in my head, I know he's okay. In my heart, this is
Yep.
what I grab. Because if he can call me, I know he's alive, right? But when you hear the car's totaled, there's glass broken, there's all kinds of things, I still grab these. Okay. So I'm going to let Beth stop the recording. I would love to hear your list of what 7, because I want to challenge you to go from this class and put a basic class bag together with whatever you think it is. And maybe you'll do, and by the way, with this 30 bag, you can lay some supplements inside flat. Okay. So there's a little room, but I leave you with this thing that I shared earlier. Basics is a really great word. When people go, well, I don't want to start at the basics. I wanted to give you an acronym for basic. It is brothers and sisters in Christ. When we get back to the basic, that's where we start. And for me, I wanted to let you know basics is a great place to start and then to build from. So I will take your questions, but I'm going to let Beth stop the recording so it doesn't get too long.